Why did I join the military? Well, I originally joined, I wanted to be able to travel, and I wanted job security. And once, got married and had my daughter, it became a lot more than that. It became a way of life, a way for me to provide for my family. Um, it definitely matured me a lot joining the military. I wasn't a dad when I joined. I joined in, let's see, July of 2010 and didn't leave for basic until January 2011. And then we found out that we were going to have a baby January 2012, and she was born in September. And my chain of command was pretty. They were pretty supportive. By the time my daughter was born, we were already separated. My wife and I were already separated, but it didn't matter. I got paternity leave and everything, and I was there in the hospital when she was born. They pretty much gave me everything I needed. They gave us a shout out. They had like a baby shower and stuff like that. The fact that my wife and I were separated, that became a big issue as far as me having the supplies I needed for my daughter. Even though I didn't have custody, I wanted to be able to have the things that she needed if I had to take care of her. And my unit really helped me out with that. The fellow soldiers were giving me, things that they had, or went out and bought new things that I needed, diapers, baby food, formula, stuff like that. The most difficult situation I've had to deal with at this point is, it's all going to be hard one way or the other. My daughter got sick right before I got out of active duty, about a year before I got out of active duty. And my squad leader had never dealt with a single dad. He dealt with single moms, which I didn't understand why he treated me differently. But when my daughter got sick, I had to take her to the doctor. I texted him that morning telling him, hey, she's running a fever of 102.8 or whatever it was. If it's not any better in the morning, I texted him that night. I said, if it's not any better in the morning, we'll take her to the doctor. He said, all right, keep me posted. And the morning rolled around, got up for 5:30 to get ready to go to PT, and checked her temperature. It was even higher than it was in the morning. So I told him I was going to take her to the doctor. I didn't know her doctor's office didn't open until noon. So I waited until noon to take her to the doctor, because that's when they opened. And he calls me on the way there, where you at? And I said, I'm on the way to my daughter's doctor. And he's like, we can't have you missing a whole day of work. You need to come in and get a counseling statement, which is basically being written up in the Army. And I'm like, what else am I supposed to do, because I don't have the support, I don't have a wife that can go take her, or, family that can go take her to the doctor when I have to work. And so he ended up getting reprimanded for, getting onto me for it, because they're like, he's a single dad. He doesn't really have anybody else to take care of her. Daycares, when they're running a fever like that, won't watch kids either. Are the things I've been left out for having a child? Most definitely in the Army. Deployment was a big one. I really wanted to deploy, and back when I first got full custody, I didn't have a family care plan, which is what is in place in the Army for, single parents. If something was to happen, we were to deploy, whatever. This is who's going to take care of my child while I'm gone for however long. And I didn't have that in place yet, because I literally had just got full custody. And since I didn't have that, I didn't get to go to deployment. And there's been other things like, TDY, which is temporary duty assignment, where you go off and you go to a different city, whatever, and do whatever you need to do for the Army. There's been several times where I had to get out of that, because he's got a kid, he can't do it. Now that I'm back in my hometown or home state, I live just down the road from my mom, so I have a lot more support now than I had. And as long as I have enough notice, I can usually get her to watch my daughter. So with the decisions that I made up to this point, where do I see my future going and my child's? I'm probably going to stay in the reserves at least until I can't anymore. um, over time, our bodies um, start deteriorating and everything. But I'm trying to stay in so we can have the insurance, and that's a big thing. Insurance is not affordable for single parents at all, because barely making ends meet, and then now we got to pay $500-600 a month on top of rent, groceries, everything, just for insurance. And if you don't pay it, you get penalized and you have to pay a fee anyway. So I see myself staying in the reserves. I'm currently going to school for film, so hoping to do something with that. And as far as my child, she says she wants to go in the Army and be a vet, so we'll see how that goes. Does being a single parent hinder my daily duties as a soldier? I really don't think so. I mean, I can see where you can consider that, because of where she gets sick or something, or I gotta go pick her up from the school, and I have to stop what I'm doing and go take care of it. But as far as the time that I'm actually there, my mind's strictly on work. I like a big separation between work and home. I think that's a big deal. If anything, I feel like it's helped me, and you got to look at it as you're trying to train a child, or set them on the right path in which to go, and sometimes they might vary from that path, from that trail, that track, but as long as you keep steady and everything's going to be all right. Do I think being a leader in the military has affected me as a parent? My parenting? Most definitely. I'm very strict when it comes to my daughter. My grandfather, when he was alive, would always tell me, "Stop being so military with her. Stop being so military with her." Some of my punishments was like trying to make her do push-ups and stuff like that. I don't do it anymore because I've realized it was wrong. But I try keeping her on a schedule and everything. It's very strict. She has a high standard that I wasn't set to when I was a kid, and I think it's mainly because of me being in the military. What advice would I give to other single parents? Don't give up hope. Keep working hard. Don't get out of active duty if you're active duty. The benefits outweigh the negatives, and just keep thinking about your child and thinking about their future. Don't worry about yourself, because right now they're the most important thing out there. The most important thing to you should be your child. Just keep your head forward. It's going to suck for a while. It might be 15 years. It's going to suck. But in the end, it's going to be worth it, because you're setting them up for life. And you got to think that you probably didn't have that choice or that chance.